What Adam was saying earlier about GAKPO and Savino, especially GAKPO, his contention was if we sign GAKPO, we could be looking to sell him in, a year's time or maybe 2 years' time once we make that step up. Like, how are you feeling on if those two names, Savino and GAKPO, seem to be the names that are number one on the list, but if we're selling them so our rivals can improve, do you think that's smart? If we're buying them, sorry, so our rivals can improve, is that smart business for you? Do you rate those players?
That's the double edge, isn't it? I think Gakpo has got a kind of pedigree within the Premier League. He has scored goals in the Premier League, has got assists in the Premier League. Does that enable Liverpool to buy Barcola? Could we go and get Barcola instead? You know, those types of things. But the first thing is to improve yourselves. You know, that's got to be the basic aim, to come out of the window better than you go into it. And if other clubs have strengthened, you kind of expect that through a window. The Savino one would be more my concern because, you know, there's a player that Manchester City, okay, he came through their group, if you like, so they bought him under value. But if you buy a player for 20 million 2 years ago and you really think he's worth 85 million 2 years later, and that's enabling them to go and buy Enzo Fernandez and people like that, then I'm not so sure I'd be looking to pay 85 for Savino. I kind of think the market value for Gakpo would be, you know, if you got him for 60, 62, you're not a million miles away from what Liverpool are asking. But I don't see any club in world football paying 85 million for Savino. And, you know, the thing that we're being told that City have to replace them, they've signed 3 left wingers in that time. They've signed Semenyo, they signed Monga in the summer, and they signed another one from France. So they bought 3 wingers, and yet they're still saying we need to replace him. So, and yet he never plays for them. So the whole Savino thing just does my head in. I don't know where we are with that.
I mean, that one, yeah, seems every day we're hearing agreed personal terms. It's set to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And yet nothing seems to ever change with Savino. But you spoke about Gakpo. Are you feeling the same as Jason? Like 85 million for Savino, we should be walking away from that.
Yeah, I mean, the football world moves on faster than anything, right? But if you think basically 12 months ago, we were probably all sat around talking about, can we get Eza? Can we get Semenyo for maybe 125 million combined, roughly? And if we'd done that, there is absolutely no doubt that every Spurs fan thinks, bloody hell, we have just made the team so much better for that money. Like, that puts us on another level to where we were beforehand. I can't honestly look at you and say that for 150 million on Savino and Gakpo, that we are that much better. Like, they're obviously good. I'm not saying they're not good players. I'm not saying that Gakpo isn't an upgrade on Odebear, for example. But could you absolutely guarantee me that Savino would have a better season than Tell? Like a no doubt in your mind at all. He's had 2 years at City. He's not shown that much more, right? So whereas Semenyo would have been a million times better than the left winger we had last year. Eze would have been a million times better than playing Bergvall as sort of a left-sided 10. Those are no doubt improvements. I just worry that you're spending a huge amount of money to buy players to buy them, whereas I just don't think that they necessarily come in and represent the upgrade that money should be representing.
I understand what you're saying. I think we are definitely, if we do spend the reported 85 million on Savino and potentially 70 million on Cody Gakpo, I definitely think we've massively overspent on bringing those players in. First of all, the market is in a ridiculous place right now. Look, I think spending 85 million on Fernandez is not too different to spending 85 million on Savino. That's just my opinion. Like, Fernandez obviously had 2 good seasons at Southampton and at West Ham, and he's obviously garnered a lot of interest. But Savino was unbelievable when he was at Girona in the La Liga. He really broke out, got like 19 goal contributions in that season. I thought in his first season for Man City, he was really good. I think he got like 10 assists, and I thought he looking really dangerous. Last season, for whatever reason, it didn't work out with him. He stopped playing. Pep was going in other directions. But for me, whenever I see Savino, I understand his kind of, at the moment, his goal contribution rate is quite low. His productivity is quite low. But what I see is a player who can effortlessly take on his fullback. Every time he's got the confidence and the assurance that whenever he gets a chance, he's not going to do what Tell or Brennan Johnson used to do, which is get the ball and turn back and give it off to the fullback. He's going to take him on. If he's one-on-one with his fullback, he doesn't have any doubt in his mind what he's going to do. I think he can play right wing, he can play left wing, and both to equally dangerous effect. He's still only 22. I remember there's a lot of attackers I can remember in my mind who at that age you saw the potential like we see with Savino, but then they didn't quite have the decision maker of the end product, and that can come with time. I remember Mo Salah at 22. He was very similar to Savino. Could unbelievably take people on, unbelievable pace, but he just didn't have the finishing and he didn't have the final product. And then it just happened over time. I'm not saying he's as good as Salah. I'm just saying players of that age can improve their decision making. I think Savino does have final product. I just don't think we've seen it enough. And I think in a Man City shirt, and I think with a regular run at Tottenham, he's going to be, I think people are going to be very surprised about how good this kid is. I think could be something special. I really believe that.
I'm definitely higher on the idea of signing him at his age than I am on Gakpo at his age, even though Gakpo might be a better player right now, just again, for the future proofing of the team. I think signing a 22-year-old with elite potential makes more sense for us than a 27-year-old who is at a good level, and that's his level.
But then I say on Gakpo, as much as I like Savino and I think he has a lot of potential, I think Gakpo has also consistently over the last 3 years given us what Savino doesn't give you, which is consistent goal contributions. I think he averages like 8 goals a season. He gets 6 or 7 assists as well. He's averaging over 10 goal contributions for Liverpool every season, pretty much. He was part of a team 2 seasons ago that won the league as their starting left winger, and he was really good in that season. For whatever reason, he wasn't so good last season, but I think this is a guy who you put him in front of goal, more often than not, he finishes a chance, and he is more of a killer than any of our other forwards. So I think if you add someone with elite potential like Savino, who I think right now, if you put Savino on one wing and Kudus on the other, I think oppositions are going to really hate playing against us, and they're not going to know who to double up on. You add in Gakpo, who can be a bit more of a killer, who can add those goal contributions as well. I think that attack all of a sudden goes up levels, not just one level. I think that is an attack that can compete for the Champions League. I kind of feel like it's worth the money. And I think everyone talking about overpaying, like we overpaid for Tonali and Fernandes, and everyone was saying, look, it's not our money. It doesn't matter as long as we get the player. That's kind of how I feel with Savino and Gakpo.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm certainly not. I don't know about you, Jason. I'm not going to sort of mount, a strong case for the defence against them. It just, I don't know, that they're just not two players that fill me with the level of excitement that the money sort of should carry with it.
But also, just quickly on Gakpo, is he not like can you name maybe 7 wingers in the left wingers in the Premier League who are better than him? Like, is he not like in a similar vein to Tonali? Like, he's probably a top 10 left winger.
It's just the idea that Liverpool fans all seem very happy to get rid of him. And that's my biggest issue is that. In the same way as when Palace signed Brennan Johnson, the comments were Spurs fans saying, thank God we got rid. I think that the feeling from Liverpool fans will be fairly similar. Now, obviously, that's fan tribalism, whatever, and you can't read too much into that. But sometimes when you see so many comments about it, they watch him more than any of us, and that's what worries me slightly about that.
I hear that.
But were a lot of those Liverpool comments based on last season? Because I don't remember too many criticisms of him when Klopp bought him, or even when Liverpool had that first season when they won the league. It seems to have been last year where they completely changed their playing style. Salah obviously tailed off. They had new players coming in, didn't they? Did Liverpool fans really want to see Ekatike? I guess there was the excitement there, and suddenly it's in with the out with the old and in with the new type of thing. I wonder how much of that is really based around just one season where Liverpool had without a doubt they were hugely off the pace and disappointing last year.
Yeah,
my worry with Gakpo is if Gakpo plays left, where's the pace in the team? Because our only current quick forward is Tell, and if Gakpo plays in place of him, where's that real pace in the team?
Yeah, that's where you need Savino, or maybe Kudus if he's fit. But at the moment, we don't know what's going on with Kudus. But yeah, I think that's the idea of getting Kudus and Savino. Gakpo and Savino. Someone who has pace, unbelievable dribbling, and is a threat even if he's not scoring or assisting. And then someone whose threat does come from scoring and assisting with Gakpo, and then you add pace as well. That's kind of feel like what I think the plan is.